It's time to talk sports, it's time for the show. When you hear this song on the radio, it's time to tune in, better act fast. Let me get that autograph. Potograph, Sports Talk Radio. Starting now.
Let's go! What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let Me Get That Potograph. It is episode 172 and the last episode of 2022. My name, of course, is Drew, or the DH, and joining me, as always, my awesome co-host, Mr. Scott Rappaport. What's up, dude?
Oh, dude, just recovering from Christmas.
Yes. I agree.
It's been a long weekend.
Yeah.
And a lot of craziness. Everything that a lot of stuff gone wrong, a lot of stuff gone right. But
as you get older, Christmas becomes a job. Like, it's like, okay, wait, November ended, now my other job started. It's not the celebration anymore.
Exactly. And it's tough. It's tough being a Jewish guy. It's tough because my wife celebrates Christmas. My kids celebrate Christmas. I'm just kind of indifferent towards it.
You're just sitting back there in the corner with your menorah,
that's exactly what it is. And the one thing I want to do, we had, normally we would do Christmas Eve with my father-in-law every year. It's just us and him, and he passed away earlier in the year, and we kind of wanted to start new traditions. So I was, of course, pushing for Jewish Christmas Eve, which means going out and having some Chinese food and going to see a movie.
That's freaking wonderful.
I know. I got shot down.
Of course.
So that was not going to happen. So I'm still, craving the Chinese food. Really want to do that. I kind of want that as the tradition, especially since Hanukkah and Christmas all fell together. But no, we didn't do that. We had to do two huge gatherings, in a row, and gained a crap load of weight. And well, you know how that goes.
Absolutely. Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, whether it was Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, anything you may celebrate. I hope you all had wonderful, happy holidays and everyone was safe. And if you're listening to this right before, of course, it is New Year's. Please be safe on New Year's, guys. We've lost a lot of great hobbyists in 2022, which we'll remember some next week during a very special show we'll be talking about later. But let's not lose any more. So be careful on New Year's. But hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. But I'll tell you one company, Scott, we're going to dive right into it. I'll tell you one company that apparently was not in the Christmas spirit. And that, of course, is our good old friends over at Alt.
I think they hired the Grinch.
Seriously.
I think they hired the Grinch. We've gone a while without having lawsuit discussions.
Right.
And this is one that I think is going to blow back on them. So here is what happened. They purchased off of auction a Steph Curry, I think it was a Topps Chrome.
It's a Topps Chrome Gold Rookie BGS 9.5 out of 50, obviously, but a BGS 9.5 when they purchased it.
All right, now they decided in their infinite wisdom that they were going to crack it out of the BGS slab and send it to PSA to try to cross it as a 10. So in theory, it was a good idea to try to cross it because a PSA 10 is going to outsell a BGS 9.5. Now, the manner in which they did it is, and excuse my language here, fucking idiotic.
Yes.
You do not take a card that is already a 9.5 in a BGS slab, crack it out, and send it in.
No.
Especially with the subgrades that were on that. You had a damn good shot with those subgrades of that crossing to a 10.
Do you know how bad PSA would love to put just graded and popped up a PSA Curry Gold 10? They would have been all over that. They would have been inclined. This isn't a This isn't crossing a LeBron base rookie, you know, where it's difficult. This is a card out of 50, so the pop report's going to be insanely low no matter what. If they look at a 9.5 with those subgrades, they would jump all over being able to put that in a 10 case.
All right, so now here's where we laugh, and here's why we laugh. Is PSA said it was trimmed.
Whoopsie.
Whoops. Now they sent it back, and Alt then turned around and sent it to BGS. And Beckett came back and said, yeah, we agree. It's trimmed.
Yep.
And then they said, well, you can go pound sand because you cracked it out of the slab.
Yes.
So now Alt is basically stuck with this ungraded card that has now been publicly outed to have been trimmed
by two different companies.
Yes, by two. I mean, frankly, I think they should spend the $20, send it to SGC just to have a third company say it's trimmed.
Right. Yeah.
But now, so it's basically, I don't want to say it's worthless because it's still a gold Curry, chrome rookie.
Right.
But it's worth a hell of a lot less than what they shelled out for it.
Yes.
And they are now suing Beckett because they are saying that Beckett screwed up when they graded it initially, and it should have been labeled, should have not been graded because it came back trimmed. They're going to lose.
Oh, they're going to
lose. They're going to lose for multiple reasons.
Many reasons.
When this went public,
I thought for sure that some people would side with Alt, and
right. especially the PSA fanboys, out there. It's like, they love ragging on Beckett any chance that they can get, but even those guys were looking at Alt like, what the hell? Like, no, Beckett's not at fault on this. They didn't do anything wrong because multiple things could have happened. Now, could Beckett have messed up when they had graded it initially and it had been a little bit short? Yes, that's a possibility.
Sure.
But there are other possibilities that could have happened as well. It could have been damaged when they, cracked it out of the slab, and somebody in their infinite wisdom decided to trim it down a little bit to get rid of some of the damage. That's a possibility too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's any number of possibilities. We've talked about it on this show with, guys that are pressing and trimming, and maybe, it's possible the deck, it could have been damaged, and edge got nicked, or a little ding in a corner or something like that, and they somebody decided to press and trimmed a little bit too much, or they just decided not even to press and just trim.
This one was not pressed, because if you read everything that was done, this was horribly done because this was so small. They said it was significantly smaller, so this wasn't a press job. This was not done with a press. They just straight up cut this and thought that they could slide it through, which makes me think that it was altered after it was taken out of the slab, because minimum size would have still been in effect when that cert was made. I looked at the cert number, and when other stuff was graded, this is when they were grading hard. This is at the peak of this is at the peak of the hobby. They were grading very hard on that stuff. So minimum size, especially with BGS, they're very strict on that to begin with. So for them to look at it now, and PSA and BGS both say that it's significantly smaller, this was not a press and trim job. No. This was a straight up rough cut at that trim job, and they completely screwed up.
So what I want to know is I have not seen any pictures of the card after it was removed from the slab.
Me neither.
Now here's the thing with this, because the guys in the blowout forums, the internet sleuths that do an amazing freaking job.
Yeah.
If would be able to compare the card that's in the slab and the card that is no longer in the slab.
Oh, in 2 seconds. Give the blowout defect CSI team 5 minutes. They'll tell you every spot.
Exactly. Now here's what I want. Here's what I want to see happen, because obviously, according to Alt, they cracked it, they sealed it, they and they sent it to PSA, and it was not touched until they got the PSA. Where's the video? Yeah. And why not post a picture of the card? The card. Post the picture.
The fact that they haven't shown the picture of the card is incredibly suspect, especially once you're filing the lawsuit. But the good news is if they plan on following through with this lawsuit, if there's a video, it's
going to come out. And
the
photos.
Pictures
Yeah.
will be everywhere. So it will eventually come out if they're dumb enough to follow through with this lawsuit. It will come out.
But here's my question: did their lawyers not say, "Hey, this lawsuit's a horrible idea"?
Or these guys say, hey, guys, if you plan on winning the lawsuit, maybe post a video, post a picture, do anything in terms of damage control. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. They literally blame everyone else, have multitudes of just stupidity. There's no other word than just fucking stupid decisions. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, we screwed up about 20 different times. We're going to sue, but we're not going to give you any information about it. We're just going to make the news that we're suing Beckett. Kind of like when they said nothing and screwed a bunch of their members out of thousands and thousands of dollars. But, you know.
I'm still hung up on the fact that somebody there thought it would be a good idea to crack it out of the slab.
That person
and not send it in. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, frankly, if I was a lawyer and I was handling this and somebody brought, and they brought this to my office and said, hey, we want to sue Beckett because, here's the whole story. Now, granted, there's not a lot of lawyers that are also in the hobby, but at the same time there are.
Yeah.
But my first thing with this would be, well, you cracked it out of the slab.
Yeah.
Instead of sending it in as a graded
review across it.
This isn't like on my wall in Anthony Edwards Hollow. This is such an iconic card.
Yes.
No, it's getting a 10.
This is one of those things where, like, before I tell them that I'm going to turn down the case, I am going to sit there and probably laugh for 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, these lawyers have got to just be cracking the hell up. They've got to. I mean, it's a complete joke.
There's no way a lawyer's taking this one on contingency.
No. And I do know the location of the person that cracked it out of the slab, by the way. He's currently on LinkedIn looking for a new job.
Yeah, and that, I mean, now is that? I mean, whether or not, I mean, we're just speculating on that.
Yes, that's a joke.
But there's a damn good, again, from a legal standpoint, since we're talking about lawsuits, I just want to make sure that that was a joke.
Yes.
But I mean, frankly, whoever it was that made the decision to crack it out should not be working in this industry. And definitely should not be working for a company that handles investments like Alt.
No, that's absolutely not.
This just boggles the mind, and I'm honestly hoping for a countersuit from Beckett, if only to recover the legal fees that they're going to have to put into to defending this bullshit.
Oh, I'm really excited to watch this one go down, and I think this could be a very, very detrimental time for Alt right now. This could end up being something that brings them down in the future. But one thing's for sure, we will be keeping you up to date on everything with Alt and their lovely lawsuit against Beckett. But Scott, it's time to move on now. And speaking of just ridiculously humorous things here, we got to touch on one thing here real quick, buddy. And I know that I know you're dying to talk about it, so I'm going to let you kick this one into gear.
All right. So was announced today, being Wednesday, by the way, Derek Carr has been benched for the final 2 games of the season. Now, that really doesn't mean that much to me. It doesn't mean that much to you. I mean, the Raiders have been irrelevant for a long time, but you know who that really means something to? And not necessarily in a good way. And we're just going to sit here and laugh. And that's Vegas Dave. The dude who spent years pumping that Derek Carr was the next best thing. He was the next Tom Brady. He was next,
By the way, hi, Dave. I know you listen to the show. You send me messages all the time, but how's that collection going, brother?
Dude. The guy spent well into the 7 figures on Derek Carr.
He did sell some of it for a tremendous loss, but then he ended up buying a lot of it back and kept a lot of the big stuff. So, I mean, he's still in a massive hole.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I mean, I lump this one in with the cryptocurrency investors who got in at the height of the market, and we're paying 60 grand a pop for Bitcoin, and now it's down to like less than 20. But I think CAR is worth even less of a percentage than a lot of those cryptocurrencies are sitting at right now. And man, I'm telling you, this just it kind of made me smile a little bit because you had Vegas Dave trying to pull off the ultimate pump and dump, and it backfired big time backfired, and he's going to be sitting there holding the bag, kind of like I'm sitting there holding a couple of RG3 bags, but not nearly to the extent that he is. If I sold the two that I had, if I had sold them at the height of the market, I probably could have gotten like $2,000 for both. And now I'm sitting on stuff, and he's back in the news too. He decided to use a word that was not so well received. And frankly, I haven't heard that particular word used, and I'm not going to repeat it because I'm white and I can't pull that off. But I have not heard that word used since Police Academy.
I know, right?
The original Police Academy. So kudos to RG3 for trying to bring that one back and falling miserably on his face. But Derek Carr benched. Vegas Dave probably crying, and me and you
laughing my ass off, baby,
and loving.
And Michael Porter Jr.'s injured again. All is right with the world.
Well, that happened last week, though.
Whatever, he's still injured.
But that brings us speaking of somebody who's not injured.
Yes.
In fact, this guy is so not injured.
Yeah.
That last night, Tuesday, I might add, went out and just threw up a 60, 21, 10 stat line.
Yeah.
60 points, 21 boards, and a very slacking 10 assists.
Yeah.
But I guess if you think about it, though, when you're putting up 60 points, the odds of assisting others and scoring is slim. But there was still another 68 points that were put up by the Dallas Mavericks that he could have assisted on. So only 10. It's kind of light for him.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most amazing triple doubles, and almost immediately eBay started pinging.
Oh, big time.
Stuff that I've had sitting up there for a while, and it's stuff that's like, if I sell it, I sell it. If I don't, I don't. It sits there. I'm not hurting about it. But all of a sudden, stuff started selling, and it's the first. I mean, for a while, things were looking down.
No, his silvers had actually dropped about 15 to 20% at a PSA 10, and his nines had dropped all the way down to like, I believe, under $500, and immediately now they're back up to around $700. The 10s are going for about $1,800 now again. I mean, I don't know what was causing the drops. He had some cards at the most recent PWCC auction that ended at just unbelievably low levels. I don't know what happened in the last month.
And Drew, I will say that we still haven't mentioned his name yet, but we are talking about Isaiah Roby.
Yes.
Totally screwing with you guys. We're talking about Luka. But yeah, I mean, people that bought his stuff even as recent as a week ago can flip and just make bank on it right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But my question is this going to be the peak of his market? Because I mean, what are you going to do to follow up a 60, 21, 10 triple double? I mean, you're talking about something that a 50-point triple double is something that only five people total, or it's only happened 5 times, and like 3 of them were Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. Or
something ridiculous like that. Yeah. This is something that, Michael Jordan never did. This is something that, I mean, clearly LeBron James never did.
No.
This is something that Steph Curry has never done. This is something Larry Bird and Magic Johnson never did.
Right. AKA pretty fucking amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you top it?
How do you top it? You just keep being Luka. I mean, you're never gonna. That's like asking Kobe how he's gonna top his 82. You know, like
Oh, that was the one I forgot. Kobe never did this either.
He's not gonna top it, but he's gonna continue to put up insane games like this. Do you think he's not gonna have another 50, 10, and 13 or something? I mean, this dude, Luka. For all the haters, for all the doubters, for everybody that had wanted to see him fail and everything, I mean, he's proven you completely wrong. This dude's the real deal. He is arguably the best player in basketball. Some people could argue Giannis and some other people, but I mean, the dude's on fire right now. And how do you top it? You don't. You just continue to be the amazing basketball player that you are.
And you know who was even happy? There's one guy that's even happier than Luka.
And who's
after
that?
A game like this. It's the guy that bought the NT 1 of 1.
Yes.
For half the price that it initially sold for, and is most likely probably back up value-wise to where it initially sold for, what, the 4.1, 4.6 million, something like that.
Yeah.
That guy is happy.
Yes, he is. That guy's quite happy right now. I would completely agree with that.
Yeah, I don't even know who it is.
I don't either, to tell you the truth. But
that guy, I mean, if I were him and I saw that stat line last night, I'd be outside naked doing cartwheels in the 10-degree weather that we had. You know,
got that right.
Nobody would want to watch that, but it would still happen. But that's one of those things where it's like, I mean, everybody is happy except for the people that didn't have any Luka stuff. Because now if you're just getting into him for the first time, you're kind of, you may be back at the height of where things are again for a while. Because, like I said, I don't think you get to the point where you can top this. I think the only thing that might top it would be a single game points total north of 82.
Yeah.
To beat, I mean, he ain't going to score 100. He ain't beating Wilt.
No.
But you make a run at taking out Kobe.
Right.
For that 82. Because let's be honest, Wilt is in a whole nother class of his own when it comes to, single game records as far as points. That 100-point game, I believe, is one of those untouchable records. But Kobe's 82, I think is potentially attainable, and I think if Luka can pull that off, that should bring everything back as far as the card market goes to where it was at the height of the pandemic market for him, if not higher.
I completely agree with you, and it's going to be really exciting to watch him and that Mavs team, which is quite dangerous. It's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the year with them.
I mean, at some point, they're probably going to wind up losing out to the Jazz again, but, it's just me. Look, the way it's going to be, the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Jazz are going to beat the Mavericks in the playoffs, squeaking in like the 8th spot or something like that. And the Grizzlies are going to go on to the finals.
Hey, well, there you go. I would love to see the Grizzlies do it. So, if they are, and if Luka keeps putting up these numbers, one thing's for sure, that man is going to get paid and continue to get paid. And speaking of getting paid, we got to pay some bills, so we'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to episode 172 of, let me get that potograph, in the last episode of 2022. And Scotty boy, I got something, kind of one of those grinds my gears type of segments, but Topps, I love them. I love their products. I love everything about it, like the company. There's some things I don't like, but I love most everything about the company. But Topps this year has had a couple of little issues and different things. Some cards not making it into a pack out and having to do silver packs. Then you had the Topps Chrome redemption with Goldie and Judge to kind of get people to actually want to buy those boxes. Now, Topps has announced something else regarding Topps Chrome Update, which was just released recently, has not been out for a very long time.
Nope.
But Topps has announced yesterday on Tuesday that they put out a statement saying, "Dear valued customer, Topps has announced plans to issue a $240 per case credit to all direct customers and distribution partners who purchased 2022 Topps Chrome Update baseball cases. Accordingly, Southern Hobby Distribution will also issue an appropriate credit all the way down to the $20 a box level to your direct account. Thanks in advance for your understanding, and please feel free to contact your sales rep if you have questions. We hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. Well, my first question is, what the hell are we understanding? But another screw up on Topps' part and another major issue. But when you see this coming out with Topps Chrome Update, one of the most popular products of the year, all years, what comes to mind when you see this?
Well, I think before we do that, I think we need to talk about the history of Topps Chrome Update, because the first, 2017 is kind of the year that they really
retail
had these standalones. Retail only. It was a Target exclusive.
Right.
And it was like $20 a box, 7 packs. 2018 and 2019 maintained that same format, but I think 2019 went up to like 25 a box or something like that. But it was still reasonable. And the production levels were lower. I mean, I ripped over 600 boxes of that in 2019, and I would say 9 out of every 10 boxes had either an autograph or a refractor of some sort in the box. 2020 was a horrible product year for them because all the good rookies were in regular Chrome and you had the shortened season. But they still increased production over 2019. 2021 increased production even higher, and it was a crappy product that nobody bought because the rookie class sucked.
Yeah.
Just across the board. It was just a shitty rookie class. And that brings us to 2022, where because certain guys, and I would argue aside from Wander Franco, the top guys did not make it into regular Chrome.
Right.
That they knew that Chrome Update was going to be a monster product. Now, a couple weeks ago, we talked about how they were launching a hobby product for Topps Chrome Update for the first time. And I went and looked at the checklist and kind of what was, box odds and things like that. We realized that, look, there's nothing special. There's no guaranteed hits in the hobby box. And you're basically buying 2.5 or 2.4 of the boxes that you can go and buy at Target for $50.
Yeah.
Because they, in 2020, I believe it was 2020 or 2021, they moved it to 10 packs and then bumped the price to $50. So you now have a massively produced product that is significantly, larger population wise than they had before. No guaranteed hits. There's nothing special about the hobby box. There's nothing you can get in a hobby box that you can't get potentially.
And how can you make a hobby version of a product and not put a rose or something, just something to distinguish the hobby? There's not even an insert set or a chase hit. It's the same thing.
There's not even something where, like with regular Chrome, the oranges are only available in hobby,
right?
Not
or the
available
orange
in jumbo.
waves are only there. Something.
Yeah, something. There's literally nothing. You're talking, the hobby box is really just a 24-pack box of the exact same stuff that you can get in the 10-pack box, that has always been out and has been an exclusive. So Topps, I think they obviously looked at their numbers and said, all right, we overpriced this. And I give them credit for, coming out and saying, hey, we're going to give some money back to these guys that bought it, but that shouldn't have been in that position in the first place, because they produced too much. They overextended the product, and it's going to kill a lot of the value long term.
Yes.
For set builders and things like that, I like the fact that you can buy a 24-pack box, but now that's a value. I just looked on Blowout before we started recording today, and the hobby box of Chrome Update is $109.95.
It's absurd.
Yeah, $110 for the box. You get 24 packs, as opposed to paying $50 for 10 packs. So, you're actually, it's pretty close. It's pretty close to about, you're getting like 2 free packs if you break it down on the per pack basis. So, I don't know. it beats going and trying to find it at Target. Where,
Yeah, and I
everybody bought
mean,
it out
I
initially.
give them credit, Tops. I do give them credit. They're fixing these mistakes. They could ignore them. They could just say, "Oh well, too bad," and just do nothing. I do like that all the different issues they are fixing, and they're being proactive about it and trying to help the consumer as much as possible. I think all that stuff's absolutely wonderful. My big thing is Topps is about to start making every single card known to man, basically. And if this is going to be a regular occurrence of all these different types of little screw ups, whether they come from the factory, whether they come from a Topps headquarters, wherever all of these issues are coming from, they've got to get fixed, because you just can't keep doing this. You've got to realize as a company that we're not in the big peak of where every box is going to be worth double, triple, quadruple, and the companies, like we talked with Jeff just last week on, prices might need to come down on some stuff. Prices need to start balancing back out to where they were, and companies need to stop saying, okay, because it's Prism, it's going to be worth thousands. Because it's Chrome, we're going to sell it for hundreds and thousands. They need to look at the classes, what's in it, and they need to make decisions based on that, because the way they're doing it now is ruining it.
Right. Panini right now should be looking at all of the football products, because the rookie class was not the greatest, and saying, all right, we need to lower the prices on this. Now, but here's my big question on this. So this is for product that was purchased either direct from Topps, not on their website, but direct from Topps, like as a wholesale product, or through Southern Hobby, which is a wholesaler. There are several other wholesalers that were selling this product as well. It wasn't just the two. So my question is, what is, obviously we know this is probably the final product that GTS is getting, because we know their contract was not renewed. It expired at the end of the year. So they're out there. Where are all the people that, what are they doing for all the people that bought from them? We have Southern, All Sport is out there, and there's probably a couple others that I'm forgetting. So what are they doing, for all the people that bought from them, and how pissed are people going to be if the answer is nothing?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, GTS doesn't really have an incentive.
Right. No, they have no incentive.
For the Topps product.
Now, Topps does say to all direct customers. So if you bought a case direct from Topps, then I guess you'd still be in the know, but how many people actually did that, etc. I mean, it's a very small amount.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like, okay, what about the other distributors?
Right.
Like, kudos to Southern for taking care of their customers.
For doing something.
Yeah. And I'm sure the Topps is compensating Southern.
Oh,
they are just like that same $240 a case.
Just like they're compensating the card shops with the Judge and Goldies, they're going to compensate Southern Hobby for doing this.
Yep. So the question is, what about the other distributors? That's what I want.
Yeah, that's a very good question. But one thing's for sure, Topps Chrome update, an awesome product, one I love, but one that I think when Topps decided to get a little greedy and slap the word hobby on it, I think that's when everything started to go downhill.
Yeah, especially with this product.
Yes.
Because again, there's no differentiating it from the retail.
Right. And if hopefully Topps is listening, I know you guys do. And hopefully if you decide to put out a hobby next year, maybe make the hobby boxes a reason to actually buy them.
Yeah. Or maybe, maybe because with Chrome Update, all the autographs are stickers. So maybe you do it where the hobby boxes, autographs that come in the hobby boxes are on card.
Yes.
And the retail boxes are stickers.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, if that's a tiny little change. You don't have to change much of anything else. And that would be solid. Or maybe make it so the oranges only come in, in hobby, just like you do with regular Chrome.
Yeah.
And Bowman and, Bowman hobby versus jumbo and, and stuff like that. So, so that's what we got on that. Drew, next week.
Yes.
We have a really fun show coming up next week.
Oh man, it's going to be awesome, Scott.
This is something we've actually talked about this for a long time.
Yes.
And we're actually going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be an annual thing.
Yes, it will.
Next week's show will be our first annual awards show.
Yes, the first show of the year, kicking off 2023, looking back at the wonderful year that was 2022. We'll have multiple different categories, and all the nominees. We'll be putting those on Instagram and all the social medias. We'll be posting all the different categories along with the nominees, and you guys get to vote. Now, we might have some giveaways and some other stuff tossed in. We're going to talk to a couple sponsors and some people like that. May have some fun stuff tweaked in the middle, but it is going to be a celebration of 2022 and our first ever award show. And Scott, man, I'm looking forward to this one.
I am too. We've been planning this for a while.
Yeah.
And now we just have to sit back in the next day or two and come up with categories and nominees.
And if you know Scott and I, they're going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have some fun with this.
Yes.
And it's not just going to be product awards. It's going to be all sorts of things. We're gonna go back through all the shows we've done throughout the year, and you might see something like biggest industry scandal.
Yeah.
You might see something
best interview.
Yeah. Best interview. It could be anything that we think of.
Exactly.
Because I'm drawing a blank right now.
And that's a scary thing.
I know. So we're gonna come up with some really good stuff over the next couple of days. We're gonna brainstorm, come up with this, and then we will release it on the socials, and you guys can vote on it. And we have retained the esteemed accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe to tabulate all of the votes.
Yes.
And that way we will announce winners as part of next week's show. And we're going to pre-record it. However, we are going to release it with video. So the audio will be available on the normal audio streams. However, the video will be available on YouTube and probably Facebook, and we may be able to throw up the recorded on Instagram as well. So we'll have some fun with that.
And even if you do listen to it on audio, make sure you watch the video version as well, because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that you just can't catch on the audio there as well. But really looking forward to this one, something I've wanted to do for a while, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it, you guys.
So we will see you guys next week. Keep an eye on the social media pages for Let Me Get That Potograph. We will be announcing the categories and nominees shortly.
Yes. And before we go, I'd like to thank our awesome sponsors. Of course, Slab Strong, Show Your Slabs, Denver Card Shows, Vanity Slabs, and Card Ladder. Could not do the show without you guys. And of course, new episode of Let Her Rip coming out this week. Of course, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Panini. And of course, also Upper Deck and our analytical partners there as well, Card Ladder. We could not do these shows without you guys. And of course, Hobby Hotline. Check out last Tuesday's episode. I was on. It was a wonderful show with Uncle Rich Klein. But every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Hobby Hotline, and every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Bench Clear Media. Make sure to check those out as well. Lots of amazing stuff coming out. We've got a new show that is going to be a reel-centric show, like reels as in Instagram and stuff like that, coming very soon. And a lot of other stuff, including the first ever Let Me Get That Potograph merch line, which is going to be coming out soon as well. 2023 is going to be a big one for us, guys. Thank you so much for a wonderful 2022. But until next week, keep ripping those packs, pulling those hits. We'll see you guys in 2023. Peace.